Hi everyone, Peter Young, author of The Blue Team. If you have 2 minutes, I've got another book review for you. This time it is Sooley by John Grisham, which came out in 2021. I've read a number of his books, a lot of his legal thrillers, all of his sport books. This is his first book on basketball, and it's by far the slowest Grisham book I've ever read. Grisham's a great storyteller. In the last 50 pages of this book, it's typical Grisham, but for most of the book, it's a yawner. So it is, again, not my favorite Grisham book. But I'll tell you what I do want to talk about. The main character, he's fictitious. His name is Sooley, but he goes to a real school, North Carolina Central University in Durham. And I have 2 small connections to that school. Number one, the current athletic director is Dr. Ingrid Wicker McCree as Ingrid Wicker. She played volleyball at George Washington University back in the late 80s when I was there. And then number 2, the basketball court at North Carolina Central is named after Hall of Famer John McClendon. So he was their basketball coach way back in the 40s and 50s. And then after his collegiate career, when he was, kind of semi-retired, he helped coach at a basketball camp in upstate New York that I went to. And it was run by a guy named Norm Sanju. At the time, he was the general manager of the Dallas Mavericks, so he would bring in Maverick players. And I tell you what, the one voice that really everybody listened to was John McClendon. And at the time, he was probably in his 70s. So the guy was a legend. He was a great teacher of the game. But I'll tell you one thing he never told me, nor did any of my other coaches. And I played for some really great coaches. You could never tell by watching me play, but I did. And none of them ever said, point your elbow directly at the rim when you shoot. And yet that's exactly what one of the coaches tells Sooley in this book, who's trying to become a better shooter. He says, point your elbow directly at the rim. I mean, I've heard keep your eyes on the rim, shoulder square, follow through, all that. But I've never heard that. So if you're a player or a coach and you've ever heard that, or you've told a player that, please comment below. I would love to know if anybody else uses that phrase. And so there you go, 2-minute review of Sooley and a bit of other topics to discuss. If you've liked this review, give it a like, give it a share. I do appreciate your comments. Keep them coming. And until next time, as always, keep reading.